Drop that shit.
Hello everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. As you can see today, we're riding this beautiful NK800 from 2023, which means that this bike has no traction control, it doesn't have anti-wheelies, and this is so far my favorite NK800. Just 2 days ago I rode NK6 and 5, and while my memory is fresh, I decided to compare this bike to NK6 and 5. And in 1 or 2 days, I'm gonna hop back on 6 and 5 NK. So I decided to give it a shot. I want to measure 0 to 100/150 kilometers per hour acceleration. This time I'm gonna use Dragy. We're gonna talk about the brakes. We're gonna talk about the performance. This bike has 20,000 kilometers on the odometer. So we're gonna talk about reliability because this is something you always ask me about. And in general, just give you my feedback. Alright guys, so if you want to see that and even more, this video is for you. I'm gonna hop on the bike now and let's go. Let's see how it feels. Let's listen to the engine. Oh dude, oh my god. This is 285-degree crank, which sounds absolutely amazing. I don't know guys, you might have your own opinion obviously, but I think that this is by far the best sounding parallel twin that you can come across. The way it sounds, the way it pops is absolutely incredible. I love it so much. In fact, I think that this sound is better than any other motorcycle that you can get from China. It's better than inline 3 sound, and I know that you would not agree, but I believe that this sound is better than inline 4, dude. It's just so aggressive, so unrestricted, and given this aggressive nature of this bike, the sound and the performance, they match so well. This bike is so punchy, so beautiful. We have 100 horsepower, 81 Nm of torque. We have full adjustable KYB suspension, 320mm dual discs up front with 4-piston J-joint calipers. From behind we have a single disc, 220 I guess millimeters, maybe 40. Single piston caliper I guess. 186 kilograms official carb weight of the bike. But you know guys, we're gonna bring it over to the scrapyard. Let me sit on this beautiful machine. Oh yeah. Ooh. Feels so good. I feel at home. I feel at home. Yeah, the sound is unmatched. Alright guys, it wheelies just the same way as 6 and 5 NK, but we are way more punchy. Yeah guys, those wheelies, they're fun, but they're a little bit more difficult to manage compared to 6 and 5. The power of this beast is just overwhelming. When I ride it, I feel as if I ride KTM Super Duke. It's actually quite different from KTM's and 790 because it's a little bit more comfortable and less aggressive. But dude, it pulls so hard. I doubt it will be faster than 605 SR, but feelings wise, it's just so torquey. It's torqueier than any other motorcycle from a Chinese manufacturer, and given the form factor, given that this is a naked bike with no fairings, with no wind protection, when you accelerate, it feels incredibly fun and super fast. With that being said, it's quite difficult to managed to accelerate from 0 to 100 efficiently. We'll try to do maybe 2-3 tests. Let me warm up first. We're not gonna go fast. We'll just try to take it easy this time. Okay. Well, not bad. Oh, yeah, guys, it's been a while. I already forgotten how to ride in K800. It's so fun, nonetheless. We're gonna accelerate a little bit more aggressively. Well, 3.8 seconds, that's actually better than I expected. Woo! Well, 7.5 seconds, 0 to 100 was like 3.99, not bad. Again, guys, you see, I'm fighting those wheelies. The bike does want to wheelie if you launch the bike aggressively, but it's way easier than the new K800, which has traction control and anti-wheelies. So this throttle is really nice, very responsive. Again, it's been a while, so if I would be riding this bike daily, I would be able to launch it much better. The official acceleration of this bad boy is 3.3 seconds, and if you're a good rider, you'll be able to squeeze like 3.5 seconds, yeah, pretty much every single time if you want. But you need to get used to it, dudes. You need to get used to this power. So far, it's very similar to my 675 SR, but it's more difficult to launch because the power is a little bit more overwhelming. And we don't have mirrors, unfortunately, so we have to be very careful. Right, dudes, one more time. Ready? Oh, 368, that's good. I can launch it much more aggressively, but I'm just afraid of those wheelies, dude. Ooh. Well, 0 to 100 wasn't good. Like, it was sub 4 seconds. We were going uphill. Once you go uphill, it's a little bit more difficult because the bike wants to wheelie a little bit more. But it's much faster than the new K800, guys. If I'll keep on launching the bike, my acceleration is gonna get better. But I'm a little bit stressed, not my bike this time. So 3.68, not too bad. One more time though, one last time for today, and we go home. Ready? Woo! One honorable mention, dudes, is that brakes are so good. ABS is not intrusive. Brakes are much better than on NK675 just because of this ABS. Alright, one more time. Ready? Ooh. Well, 3.88 seconds from 0 to 100 and what? 7 seconds, 7.43 to 150. But if we're talking about in K675, I need to mention that on 675, the front end was super light as well, and it was wheeling like crazy as well. So in this way, these two bikes are very close. I feel like 675 NK might be even faster from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. I'm gonna check it out in my next videos, but this feels so much faster, so much more fun, dude. If you're in a sport mode, this bike is gonna do wheelies, it's gonna be super jerky. Is it a reliable bike? Well, it's relatively reliable. The front fork is knocking from time to time, but it does work pretty well. And given that this bike has been abused by different people who don't really know how to ride, it's still pretty reliable, I would say. I want to show you the fork. Listen. Did you hear that? I had the same problem on my NK800. The torque, the sound, the way it pulls, everything is just amazing. Quality is still very good, but it's not as refined. For example, when I ride slowly, the gearbox is quite clunky. From time to time, I do slip into neutral, which is pretty nasty. Once when I stopped, I tried to find neutral and it was difficult to do, and then finally I found it. Then I released the clutch and bike stalled. So the bike was in a gear, but on the screen on the dash it showed me that it was in neutral. That was pretty embarrassing. I don't really want people to think that I'm a newbie. We have 3 modes and we have ride-by-wire, and this is something which other bikes don't have. Once you connect with the freaking asphalt, the bike is so fast. By the way, engine check. I don't know what's the matter. We'll see later, I guess. Whoa, by the way, I forgot to mention, guys, we have a quick shifter up and down, which is a very sweet thing to have. Ooh, yeah. It's really easy to do wheelies once you go fast on this bad boy. The only thing I don't like, dude, is the bars. Check this freaking out. Do you see that? They're shaking like crazy. When I was doing my wheelies, as I was doing stoppies, I guess, I just shifted the bars so they went like this. And right now I'm a little bit cautious. I'm a little bit scared. I don't like this engine check. So speaking about reliability, so far it feels good, but all those things, engine check and shit like that, not very pleasant. The bike is still very, very efficient for what it is. Given the torque, given the form factor, I was expecting to get from 0 to 100 in like something like 4 seconds, but my best result was 3.6 seconds. It's not that bad. This bike can still be ridden very fast. But if I'm being honest, I feel like NK675 would be better and more efficient in terms of acceleration, in terms of racing. But dude, I'll tell you one thing. I don't really feel like this bike is 186 kilograms. I feel like it's heavier than that, if I'm being honest. We do not have crash bars. We have this little thing over here. So, full gas tank. Let's see. Wow, not bad. Really good. Really good. 188 to 190 kilograms. I was so wrong. I thought it would be heavier than this. That's good. Yeah, you see? I do hope that you can see. I'm really, really impressed. So, in case of NK800, CF Moto did not lie. I mean, almost. Check those wheelies, dude. Yeah, dude, we have so much power. If you're a skillful rider, you can still do slow speed wheelies, but the bike feels heavy and too jerky, even in rain mode. So, for me, it's much easier to do those fast wheelies, but it's not that safe, dude. It's so fun. Is it more fun than K675? Well, while I'm riding K800, it's really hard for me to imagine that something would be more fun. Look, first gear. Like, I did not do anything. I just kind of tried to accelerate a little. All those power wheelies, they're just insane. Oh, dude. So much torque. So aggressive. It's just forcing you to go nuts. Just tells you that, dude, you're on a freaking NK800. What are you doing? Again, dude, we have rain mode, street mode. But come on, dude, you're gonna ride it in a freaking sports mode. That's for sure. How come that you're like, oh no, you know what? I'm just gonna ride it in a street mode or a rain mode. Like a beginner. You're not gonna do that, dude. Is it as refined as 675? Nah, it's not. It's not as smooth, obviously. We have a parallel twin. Do I like it more than 675? Well, I do like it more. Will everybody like it more? No. If you like, let's say, rational, smooth motorcycles, this would be way too much. It's not for everybody. It can scare you off, or you can get yourself into trouble. On 675, the power is very good as well, but it's not as crazy. So this is like crazy, fast, aggressive. It wants to punch you in the face. Meanwhile, 675 will be gentle, elegant, yet fast and efficient. Gearbox, I would say, is better on 675 and K, but rev limiter would be better on this bad boy. On 675 SR and K, the rev limiter is super annoying. Brakes are better on this bad boy, much better. Right now my ABS is off, but even when my ABS is on, it's way less intrusive than on 675 and K or SR. So brakes / ABS is much better on K800. Much better. We have ride-by-wire, we have modes, power modes, we have cruise control. This bike has 20,000 kilometers on the odometer, and yet it pulls pretty hard. The only thing I don't like is that we have some squeaking in the brakes or in the forks. I don't know. I feel like those are brakes. But all those parts, the fairings, not the fairings, but the plastic over here, feels pretty solid, feels very high quality. It feels torquey, it feels as if it can rip your hands off. This bike has no traction control. 675 and K has traction control. So if you want to play it safe, get yourself an K675. If you want to go crazy, if you want to do wheelies, this is your choice, dude. Even in 2025, I feel like this is the most fun bike from CF Moto so far. And it might be the most fun bike from a Chinese manufacturer to the day, dude. Speaking about the engine, I would definitely tell you guys that I think it's more reliable than the same engine on KTM 790. In the end of the day, the power was reduced a little, but it still feels very punchy, very torquey. And apparently they solved the problems that 790 Duke had. The seat height is 795 millimeters, so it will be way more approachable for shorter riders. And even when I ride it, even though I'm relatively tall, I feel as if I'm sitting in the motorcycle. So it's a more comfortable position compared to Duke 790, and it's a little bit less aggressive. When you try to do wheelies in the first gear, it's still a little bit too jerky. It comes up way too fast. If you're looking for, let's say, NK800 and you're thinking, should you buy this bike or NK675, I would say that these two are very close in terms of acceleration. This would be less smooth, way more aggressive, way more punchy, and it feels much faster. Both bikes do power wheelies in the first gear like nothing, but this bike feels a little bit better planted on the asphalt. If you prefer smooth performance, 675 and K is for you. If you prefer aggressive punchy machines, this is your option. Yeah, dudes, please tell me what you think about this motorcycle in the comment section below. Do you think I did a good job in terms of acceleration? What do you think about the reliability? This bike is available in other countries, so please share your experience with this beautiful NK800. And as always, thank you for watching.